He was most loathed by Angie Dickinson. Born in Com, North Dakota, on September 30th, 1931, Angeline Brown became Angie Dickinson. Humble beginnings and strong family values defined Angie's childhood in a tiny town during the Great Depression. Her parents, Frederica and Leo Henry Brown, instilled discipline, resilience, and drive in her. After her family moved to California, she was exposed to a more glamorous world that would shape her fate. After graduating from Immaculate Heart College in Los Angeles, she briefly worked as a secretary while pursuing acting. Talent scouts noticed her beauty, brains, and perseverance, sending her on a path to Hollywood glory. In the 1950s, Hollywood's golden age of television, Dickinson began acting. She began with tiny roles in westerns and anthology series and became a reliable and appealing actor. She broke into Hollywood in 1956 after winning a beauty contest. She soon appeared in Gun the Man Down, 1956, with James Arness and Rio Bravo, 1959, with John Wayne and Dean Martin. Her performance in Rio Bravo showed her ability to stand out amid larger-than-life male stars, presenting a strong but fragile woman who added depth and emotion to the plot. It established her as a Hollywood rising star. Angie Dickinson's cinematic career peaked in the 1960s and 1970s. She starred in gritty dramas, comedies, and thrillers. Her flexibility was shown by her work with Howard Hawks, Don Siegel, and Brian De Palma. Point Blank, 1967, a neo-noir classic with Lee Marvin, and The Killers, 1964, a crime thriller featuring Ronald Reagan in his final film performance, were among her films. Dressed to Kill, 1980, directed by Brian De Palma, was one of her most controversial but celebrated portrayals. She played a lady caught in a web of peril and psychological intrigue. Her willingness to take risks and play complicated women inspired future Hollywood actors to take on more demanding parts. Despite her film achievements, Angie Dickinson became famous for television. The NBC crime thriller policewoman cast her as the trailblazing Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in 1974. This position was groundbreaking. Dickinson was one of the first women to lead a major network drama. Men generally do. As Pepper Anderson, she was praised for playing a powerful, bright, and caring policewoman who broke barriers for women on television. She got a Golden Globe and many Emmy nominations, and the show ran for 4 seasons, motivating many women to become law enforcement officers and molding cultural views of powerful women. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Angie Dickinson appeared in Wild Palms, Pay It Forward, 2000, and guest starred in series that introduced her to younger generations. Her brilliance, attractiveness, and personality kept her relevant across Hollywood periods. Few actresses have achieved this. She personified glamour, refinement, strength, and independence, inspiring women inside and outside the entertainment industry. As in her business, Angie Dickinson's personal life was full of emotion, connection, and complexity that exposed her true self. Her first husband was Gene Dickinson, a collegiate football star who was a local celebrity before entering the electronics sector due to his excellent looks, charisma, and athletic ambition. They married in 1952, when Angie was just starting out in Hollywood. The relationship seemed ideal for a mid-century American couple. They are a young woman aspiring to prominence and an ambitious man establishing his career. The pair split in 1956, for years after their vows. The marriage officially ended in 1960, but its breakdown years earlier hinted at Angie's rising career, her growing independence, and the challenges that often arose when one partner was in the Hollywood spotlight, while the other pursued a quieter, more conventional business path. Despite the separation, chose to keep his last name, Dickinson, which would become her professional name and a permanent part of her identity, reflecting both cultural expectations and her sense of continuity as she moved forward. Angie became close friends with economist John Kenneth Galbraith and his wife Catherine when married to Gene Dickinson. The Galbraiths, one of the most influential intellectual couples of the day, introduced Angie to a world of political discourse, cultural exchange, and diplomacy beyond Hollywood. Angie visited John Kenneth Galbraith when he became U.S. ambassador to India under President John F. Kennedy. According to Galbraith's memoirs Ambassador's Journal and A Life in Our Times, Angie was more than an actress during these travels. She moved easily in intellectual and political circles. Her presence and experiences in Galbraith's writings indicate her closeness to the family and her impact on others she encountered throughout these amazing journeys. These friendships gave her a worldwide perspective, new experiences, and a life outside Hollywood, a rare privilege for a young actress. Her most renowned and influential marriage was with Burt Bacharach, a great composer, songwriter, and musician who defined popular music in the 1960s and 1970s. In 1965, their marriage seemed spectacular, combining Hollywood and music stars at the peak of their fields. They were married for 16 years, despite hardships. They dated various individuals throughout their final separation, reflecting the challenges of maintaining intimacy amid fame, creativity, and personal hardships. They stayed close despite their separations, possibly due to their shared joys and struggles as a family. Angie gave birth to their only daughter, Leah Nikki Bacharach, known as Nikki, on July 12, 1966. Nikki's birth was joyful, but life soon presented major obstacles. She was born preterm and diagnosed with autism when public awareness and medical resources were scarce. Angie and Bert's lives were altered by caring for Nikki, and Angie especially loved her daughter so much that she turned down career possibilities to be with her. After decades of struggling with her disability and accompanying issues, Nikki committed suicide on January 4, 2007, at 40. Angie was devastated by the loss and never stopped talking about Nikki, reflecting their unshakable closeness. Burt Bacharach, with whom Angie shared her happiest and tragic family events, died in 2023, ending one of her most important connections. Angie led a rich life after her divorce from Bacharach, usually shocking fans with her romantic choices. She dated Billy Vera, a soulful singer and songwriter who had success in the 1980s. His music video for I Can Take Care of Myself featured Angie, a sign of their public love. This light-hearted cooperation showed her other side, an openness to new experiences, her partner's career, and a lighter, more modern style as music videos dominated pop culture. Her relationship with Vera was part of her post-Hollywood golden phase, when she explored love outside marriage and expectations. When Dickinson dated radio and television host Larry King in the 1990s, her love life grabbed headlines again. King, recognized for his curiosity and ability to connect with anyone across the table, discovered a glamorous, clever, and fascinating companion in Angie. Respect and camaraderie characterized their long partnership. It didn't lead to marriage, but it showed that Angie still attracted powerful men and valued relationships with dynamic people. Hollywood star Angie Dickinson was polite, charming, and careful with her words. From Hollywood's golden age to the present, she worked with scores of top actors and actresses. Angie usually got along with her co-workers and spoke positively of them in interviews, even if there was backstage turmoil. However, one person stood out as someone she could not tolerate. His name was Telly Savalas. In the 1970s, Telly Savalas became famous as the tough, bald-headed investigator Kojak, known for his mantra, "Who loves ya, baby?" and his lollipop. On and off screen, he was boisterous, egotistical, and oversized. To some, he was captivating, but to others, especially those who had to deal with him closely, he was overwhelming. Angie Dickinson found him insufferable. She occasionally admitted that she disliked him more than usual. "My Hollywood co-worker Angie said I despised Telly Savalas more than anyone else." This stunning remark from a woman who typically kept her critiques private showed how much Savalas bothered her. Angie said that while many actors had idiosyncrasies, egos, or nasty moments, Telly was different. She added that he was cruelly arrogant. "He made everyone on set feel like he was the king, and we were there to bow to him. I hated it. I hated him." The manner Savalas behaved professionally contributed to the hostility. Angie said he wanted constant attention, rejected others' contributions, and exuded superiority that poisoned the workplace. She stated Telly thought he was invincible, walked like he controlled the world. "You were his adversary if you didn't stroke his ego. I wasn't going to stroke his ego, therefore I was his target. We were at war after that." That Angie's anger wasn't founded on a single mishap or misunderstanding made it even more intense. Not one argument or personality clash. It was constant anxiety. Angie said she hated sharing a set, interview, or even a casual gathering with Savalas because she knew she would feel exhausted and angry. She remembered angrily that he smirked as if laughing at you even when he wasn't saying anything. It was condescending, unpleasant, and continuous. "Every time I saw him, I thought, I'll never like him. Never forgive or respect his treatment of others." Dickinson never started public feuds, but she made it known that she disliked Savalas. She carried them throughout her life. She was kind and forgiving with many peers. Telly's comments were final, leaving no possibility for reconciliation. "I don't carry grudges," she remarked. "I exempt Telly. I despised him then and always. Respect and love are earned by some people. I hated Telly Savalas. That message meant a lot to Angie Dickinson, who had worked with industry titans. Telly Savalas were one of the most powerful people she had met, and she despised him the most. It was more than a celebrity clash, it was a decades-long animosity.